Oh,
Let's
I
see.
completely forgot about that and did not
Let's
make a swap to Ghost. What am I doing?
let's
Uh,
move. Let's position
Didn't
my.
sign up for the email, man.
I thought I did. Maybe did I? I thought I did.
I don't actually see it in the queue yet, so in the auction queue, but it should be there. I think it takes a second usually.
How long are we running this auction for?
1 hour.
Oh,
It's gonna be a fast one.
it's gonna be spicy. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this one. Get some live coverage going.
There.
Yeah, the
Still don't
pieces look
see it.
so good. Seeing the video and the post on X was amazing. It just looks so
Yeah.
good. Shout out to your dad, true legend.
Yeah, man. He crushed it.
That was a treat getting to hear him talk about his whole experience and going through the process last week. That was awesome.
Just refreshing the page here, trying to see it should be up soon. The auction was definitely created. I know it takes a second for it to show up sometimes. Does anyone see it in the queue yet? In the auction yet? Oh, China found it.
China's on it.
Awesome. There it is. All right, guys. How did you find it before me?
He's like, I've been watching, man. I'm waiting for this moment. Are you gonna be bidding on this
Oh,
piece
now I
today,
see it.
Coder Dan?
I am not going to bid.
Okay.
So up to you guys. China had the email. All right, we are live, friends.
Oh,
Good morning.
China.
Happy Saturday.
Should I be worried? Are we gonna go head to head? Who else is out there? Who's getting in this bid? Who's getting in this auction?
Well, I just tried to put in a bid and it failed, so I'm assuming that the price is already higher than what I'm thinking it is. So we're gonna go up the bid.
Hey, predictions. What kind of predictions do we have coming through your form, Coder Dan? Let's see if we
The
can-
average prediction, that we had 20 responses, and the average prediction of all of them was about 1,200 ghosts.
Okay, that's yeah. I would say it's in that ballpark for sure. We might be surprised today, but we'll see.
Dang, 400 ghosts and my bid is not going in.
Oh God. Okay. I mean, I think that's priced me out already. I was expecting it to go higher than what I had. So
Yeah, me too. Let's try this again. Just keep trying to. Cannot estimate gas. Yeah, I think it's already in the
Yeah,
moon.
that usually happens because the bid you're trying to enter is different from the previous bid. So yeah, I do see 200. We are at 200 currently, according to the latest bids.
Okay, my bid for
wow,
300 is going through.
300's going through. Okay.
Oh, somebody else just put a bid in for 300.
Somebody just
All
upped
right.
their bid when you said that.
Okay. 400. Oh, I'm in the middle of placing the bid though, so I have to wait for it to fail.
The for context, the lowest entry was 4 ghosts, but I think that was a mistake, so I discounted that one because that person entered it twice. And if you remove that one, the lowest was like, I think it was about 420 ghost, and the highest was 5,000 ghost was the highest bid, like the highest guess. We're gonna get Intelligent Mike here coming in just a moment.
So I see additions. We have 10 of these additions. This is the first set of 4 that's going up. Are there 9 more sets of 4 here that will eventually
So
get?
one is going to be owned by me. One is we're going to be sending to the legend Zbot because he made a ton of the art that actually inspired these. And then but those are not going to be with edition 1 of 10. This first one that we're bidding on is going to get the coveted 1 of 10. The other ones will be 2 of 10, 3 of 10, 4 of 10, etc., all the way up to 10 of 10.
Oh, got you. Still though. So there are some other chances there for folks who maybe missed their chance on this one today.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, my dad will, continue to want to do that. If not, if it goes for 300 ghosts, which I don't think it will, then he might be like, wait till the bull market, son, and
Yep.
then we'll do it again.
Yep. It's at 500 already, so it is climbing up
Oh,
at this
nice.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back to Aave trying to pull. It's good that I didn't close the window because I'd be losing precious moments here.
So the closest guess is actually going to get a signed picture of one of the kind of tracing papers that my dad made. He's going to sign that and send that to whoever got the closest guess from those 20 guesses. So it's going to be interesting to see who actually gets that.
Yeah, like you said, I think we're gonna keep climbing. We're just a couple minutes in here, and we're at 500 ghost right now. So that's that's pretty significant.
Nice. I think if it goes for a good price, we're kind of making NFT and Intarsia history here, friends, because I think this would be cool to like feature in some of these like magazines that talk about Intarsia, because it's like so far off from where they are and like what they understand. To be like, I sold an NFT of an Intarsia of this wood art to for this ghost currency. People are gonna be like, what are you talking about, man?
Tokenized Intarsia.
But tokenized stuff is so much fun. Speaking of that, there was this project I saw on Twitter. It was like tokenized peaches. Did anyone else buy any of these
Oh
peaches?
man, I thought you were gonna say tokenized pork, because that's another project out there right
Is it
now.
really?
They're tokenizing 900 pigs, and they're gonna slaughter them. And if you own the NFT,
Oh.
you get some of the, you get some
Oh
of the
my
pork.
god. Nah, these are peaches, and I think this was something done by Meta Cartel. It looks like them. Looks like it's got their fingers on it. But these peaches, man, I mean, they were incredible. Like the best peaches I've ever had.
Like, so did these peaches end up at your house?
Yeah.
Oh,
You buy the NFT. It was like 0.08 ETH, right? So something like that. So it's not cheap, obviously. And then they ship the peaches to you. And yeah, they're Palisades peaches, dude. They're fucking like mouth orgasm.
really?
So good.
Wow.
It was really. I think they're still mint, but yeah, they're quite good. I'm definitely enjoying them.
Okay, new high on the bids now.
Looks like 550 is what we got so far.
Yeah, Intarsia takes crypto by storm. Sounds like a great headline. So anyway, friends, how's everyone doing? How's the alchemic spending competition going?
We have some heavy spenders out there. I'm curious to know who's gonna win that Soju NFT, man. That thing is pretty cool. Soju badge.
Do we know who won the? Oh, we do know who won the first round. It was crypto-ticker.io, right? They posted about it on
Yeah, I was
X.
gonna say I saw a tweet somewhere about that.
He's I believe Twitter or crypto ticker has won all competitions.
Yeah, friend in real life 2 or 3 times. I think NFT NYC twice, and then ETH Denver. Maybe it could have been Art Basel, but yeah, met them. No, it was Art Basel because we were at the Cryptoon, the CyberCongs party. Yeah, so real Chad, like just constantly taking this and also doing pretty well in the other facets of the game.
Hola, Nadio. GM, sir. Hey, I seen some mustachio. Speaking of fake gotchis, I seen some Mustachio Town NFTs on the in the queue. Was there some sort of an art contest there? They look pretty cool, actually. Let me see if I can pull them up.
Yeah, I think there was. I remember seeing something about that on the timeline. There was some sort of contest.
Yeah, the two pieces look great. There's they have the one with Bin Laden and Internet Phase. I'm not sure if there's music to that, but the other one, oh, there is. What is
There
the music
is.
like? Can you hear the music?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it up a little bit. It's just 30 seconds. That's fire. I like
Yeah,
it. I
it's
was
cool.
waiting for the beat to drop because I know Phase, but it's more chill. This raffle's not ready. What is this? Is it a raffle? Oh, it is a raffle. Raffle Kings Royal Champ. It looks great. The other one looks great too. Who's this? Bin Laden just by himself. Little
Mustafa
armored.
of Mustachio.
Yeah, I dig it. I also like that. This is the first time I've noticed in one of his pieces, his signature right under the shadow is just there. It's like perfectly placed, and it's not like it's not super eye catching, but it's there and you can notice it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
All right, guys, we don't want to take up too much of the hangout here, but we do have Intarja Mike. This is actually my last day. I'll be in the U.S. Heading to Europe after this. So Intarja Mike wants to say hi and thank y'all for bidding.
Hi guys, this is Intarja Mike here. So,
Hello.
how you doing? How you doing? Who am I
Excellent.
talking to?
This is Hefe.
Hefe.
Yeah, Hefe, yeah.
Well, good. Nice to meet you, buddy. And we're gonna miss Dan. We're gonna miss Coder Dan here. He's been a lot of fun having him around. He's taught me a lot about the Aavegotchi, and looking forward to continue on our projects together.
Did Coder Dan get you a Aavegotchi now? Are you official part of the Gotchi gang?
Not quite, but we're working on it.
We're working on
it. I may be a future contributor
Nice.
to the Aavegotchi.
He'll have some ghosts, but yeah, I might be able to give him a gotcha. He doesn't have. We're still working on full wallet setup and security for that, but he's gonna get this ghost, and he'll have a lot to do with that.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Been fun stuff.
So we're at 550 right now.
Okay.
550 ghost.
Cool.
With
that's me, baby. I'm
46
taking it.
minutes. 46 minutes to go here, friends.
Wow. Do it, guys. Do it. Been a lot of fun. I like doing little stuff like this.
Yeah, we were just talking about how it's kind of unique to have some Intarja work in the crypto world. It's not something you see over here.
I know there's a lot of different Intarja artists out there. Matter of fact, I used to teach classes in Intarja and gave a few seminars on Intarja, and it's one of those things that the longer you do it, the better you're supposed to get at it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people really, it's hard to find a good market for it. People go. I used to go to craft shows and stuff like that, and I mean, it's high dollar stuff because it takes so long. I mean, if you do it right, it takes a long time to accomplish it and to perfect it. But I mean, that's what I like to do.
Like anything, yeah.
Yeah, it's with anything. I mean, but with this small scale woodworking like this, I mean, you have to have a ton of patience and you really have to enjoy the whole thing. So these were a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of small pieces. I mean, there's some pieces in like the Wizard that 4 pieces glued together measure 1/8 of an inch. I mean, that's tiny stuff.
Yeah.
To be able to do.
There's not many people that could do this.
No, there's very few people that have the patience or the dexterity, or just you have to really understand all the different woods and the properties of woods, and small tools that you need to work with. So it's been a lot of fun stuff. I mean, it's just, I enjoyed it. It's a different subject matter that I'm used to, but that's part of the fun.
Well, yeah, and then after all these years, you still have all your fingers, and you're creating these beautiful works as testament to the skill that's built up over time, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the thing about it is, I mean, I'm not using a big table saw that most woodworkers lose fingers on and stuff like that. My little scroll saw is the best tool, and I mean, I'm using a blade that looks like a thread with teeth. So I mean, it's very small and just about impossible to cut yourself with it. So, but I mean, there's other tools that you could hurt yourself, but I try to stay away from that. have managed to do it for 69 years, so that's pretty good.
The wood palette that Coder Dan dropped is awesome to see. Like being able to see
Yeah.
all the different colors and tones. Do
Yeah,
any of these
yeah.
colors shift as you work with them? Like, do
What's
they
that?
oxidize or anything?
Do they change?
Most of them do. But a lot of it depends on the type of finish that you use on it, and if you expose it to a lot of UV. And I mean, I use polyurethane finish, which kind of seals out the oxidation part. Any wood that's exposed to the air is going to oxidize and it's going to change color. The same thing with UV. If you set a piece of, say, purple heart in the sun, it's going to turn almost black. So you have to pay attention to that on the design of some of this stuff. I mean, one of the most yellow woods is a wood called Osage orange. When you first cut it, it's bright yellow, but not even after a month sitting in the sun, it's going to turn completely brown.
Oh, wow.
So it's one of those things that, I learned by trial and error on a lot of these different woods and a lot of different pieces, which woods are going to change color over time. So yeah, it's one of the things about it though, which on the coasters, once you seal it in epoxy, that seals out any chance of oxidation. So that's going to enhance the colors. The colors are going to stay, unless you just sit it in the sun on the deck or something. For the most part, they're going to stay the same color that they are now over time.
My dad's kind of a wood purist. There's a lot of Intarsia artists that will use only 1 or 2 woods, and then they'll paint it or stain it. But he's always his kind of innovation in the space. He was the first one to use a bunch of different woods and use their natural colors instead of like using 2 woods and painting them, or just using 2 woods.
Yeah. I mean, the lady that started this back in the late 80s, her palette was red cedar and pine, which you can get a pretty good variety of tone differences from red cedar and pine. But and she does beautiful work. She continues today to do beautiful work. But and now she's using a lot of exotic woods, which I introduced back in the early 90s through a catalog that I was selling my kits through. And ever since those started selling pretty good, she changed over to starting to use a lot of natural colored wood. So to me, that's the whole art form, is to be able to use, natural colored woods in your pieces.
We'll let the hangout continue here, but I'll drop the piece one more time. We got the auction going on. 40 more minutes left, guys. So if anyone wants this limited edition 1 of 10, this is going to be number 1 of 10 that you'll be receiving from Intarsia Mike here. 4 coasters total. And also the NFT as well will go with it. So thank you to Intarsia Mike for coming on.
You guys enjoy your day, and like I say, we're gonna be taking Coder Dan and his wife to the airport this afternoon, and they're headed back on their newest journey. So we'll definitely be keeping in touch, though, and looking forward to doing some more of this stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you, Intarsia Mike.
Yes, sir. And you all have a good day. And come on with the bids, guys.
Let's
get
go.
it up there. Let's get it on. All right. Talk to you later.
See ya. So how about that dev update, guys? New month here. Anyone have any favorite screenshots from the dev update?
Those new liquidators, man. Love the aesthetic.
Yeah.
They really just give me like a Minecraft, or like, these games, like really addictive games. You have these characters. What's that matriarch look? You got that like super OG, that super OP looking liquidator, gold plated with the big brain.
Oh, is that the big statue?
No, here, I can actually drop this image here. Let me.
Oh yeah, so in the arena, there's gonna be 5 different levels of liquidators that you're gonna face, and every time someone defeats one, I believe it's every time, maybe it's every few minutes or something, they're gonna evolve and get more powerful. Because the arena is basically a training ground for Aavegotchis to join the army of the Gotchiverse and become an elite, Citadel Knight or some other warrior to help the Citadel. So they're training, and so these are, again, they're kind of like proto-licks. They're not real liquidators yet, but they're very, very close. The Gotchi scientists have been doing their research, and they know pretty much what a liquidator looks like, but they're not gonna destroy the Gotchi. They're still fairly harmless. But they have 5 different levels that you'll face as the match progresses.
Oh man, and the way the Gotchis fly too is really cool. I'm just looking at the video, the trailer. If you guys haven't seen it, it's like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I love the first-person shooter point of view, or it's kind of third-person because you're behind the Gotchi. But will you allow for switching of the point of view of the player?
To be able to go to first person?
Yeah, I've just been playing more first-person shooter games, so it's just like I see that and I'm like, oh, that's so dope. I can run around as a Gotchi, but from their perspective.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not like a difficult thing for them to do. I think they're just testing it out, being able to see the Gotchi moving.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic of like the 3D Unity assets. It's all coming together now. I can see there's a lot of work that's going into like the textures. Like the liquidators are really shiny, and like the cloth of the Aavegotchi with the metal helmet. And there's a lot more detail, of course, than pixel art, right? So gives you that extra like breathing room when you're designing things, I guess.
So I mean, there's probably the same amount of creativity, but there's a lot, like you said, a lot more detail to go into making a 3D object.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you look at the arena video, you see on the bottom right, there's like weapons. You have a shield, you have a sword, looks like a pump action, like Nerf shotgun, and a grenade. Is that going to be where, I guess, like our wearables or potions, stuff like that, other weapons are going to exist? Or will we have additional like weapons that are not so Gotchiverse specific?
So you're gonna bring your Gotchi weapons into the arena, and they're going to affect gameplay. There's also going to be those weapon blocks that are going to drop every so often, and those are going to have like power up weapons or power ups that will enhance your Gotchi for like a minute or two. So those are going to be kind of coveted after, and they're just battle specific. They won't carry over after the battle, but your weapons will definitely change how the Gotchi plays and the level, the kind of the tier in which your Gotchi is competing.
That's sort of like the great equalizer. It's like, yeah, just so it's not so frustrating for people, I guess, that maybe don't own like an OP item or don't have like some sort of crazy item that, or even gives them some sort of an advantage. They can, if they find these weapon blocks, you got a little bit of an advantage for a short period.
Well, we're also going to have this isn't really published yet too much, but we will have multiple tiers. Oh, Thrax, GM, sir, you got 30 minutes left if you want the coasters. There's going to be multiple tiers. So if you're like a low BRS weak Gotchi with no wearables, you're not going to be competing against a godlike 1,000 BRS with kitted out with 6 godlikes.
Just because of matching, or
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense to put those together because
of
they're
course.
not even in the same power level tier. Like they're
Different weight
so far
class.
different. Yeah.
Well, the cool thing, hopefully, and we'll talk about this in the DAO part of it, is rental for wearables. You might be able to just rent a wearable and be able to step up your game so the tiers make more sense.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so if you might have a Gotchi that is like a tier 2, but you'll be able to equip a wearable onto it that, might bump it up. Now it's in tier 4 because its power level has gone up significantly. So that's, yeah, wearables actually. I think this proposal, not to get into the DAO call too much, but I think it's a great proposal and very timely for all the changes that we're kind of working on for the arena, and it's going to fit very nicely to be able to have like a wearable rental system.
Yeah, I'd love to, you get that losing streak going for a while and you're like, I gotta upgrade my character for a bit. You rent yourself a godlike staff and you rock it out, you're OP for a little bit and you feel good again.
I don't know if this is just cope for me, but I also like going into I would like going into the tier 1 matches and just kind of sharpening my skills, knowing that like, oh, I'm just the weakest, like almost like a free to play version of any game where everybody is just the same character. It's like, all right, let's see if I can figure out better strategies so I can use my better setup, better equipment to play better.
The
Also, it's
meta.
kind of like being the champ that goes into, like you're a rich guy that goes and acts like you're poor and becomes a beggar on the street just to kind of get some experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the dev update, also Gotchi Guardians, we could see the raffle animation in it. It looks great. Going through the different tiers from common all the way up to godlike.
Yeah, yeah.
As well.
Slama is really leaning into all the rarity tiers in Gotchi Guardians, which I love to see. And it's every week it's looking more and more fantastic. I'm loving it. It looks so pro. All the little shaders and like micro tweaks that he's making, and he and his team are just it looks fantastic.
Looking at some of the other updates here, we have Oliver Spoon Gotchi Crawler. Of course, that's the DAO funded dungeon crawler game that Oliver Spoon is working on.
I'm gonna drop a little preview here real quick. This is just from our whip channel, but you can, it's 100 megabytes. It's gonna take a while to come through, but you can kind of see just the evolution of where we were a month ago compared to this footage we're gonna drop here in a second. It's really improving very quickly. And Al says, "Oh, that's awesome." Yeah, he hasn't even started reaching out to the Gwent community at all to let people know. Like, he's waiting for that moment when it's really ready. That's gonna be very cool when he starts like gotchi pilling all the Gwent family. He's got a lot of influencers and people on social media that cover Gwent. It's almost coming through, guys. It's a big one. Yeah, also, Hefe, I think you mentioned Oliver Spoon's the dungeon crawler. We should be seeing something come from that by next, I think it's next month, right?
Yeah,
Might
very
have
soon.
some previews. I just dropped the video of Gotchi Guardians here, how it's looking.
That looks
I mean, just look
beautiful.
at, it's like he's tuning so many little details, all like the way that the attacks happen and the god awfuls bounce and the shading, breeze kind of gently blowing. Yeah, we want to have it chaotic, but with order. It's easy to create chaos, but it's not easy to create order within chaos. That's what we're aiming for here. A fun, chaotic experience that is just visually very fun to watch.
Yeah, visually it looks like there's a lot going on here, but you still get run into the battle. Your eye kind of draws towards that gotchi, and you're off the dire tire. I think they're called dire tires, right? That's the name you settled
Yeah.
on. Yes, you're
Yep.
fighting those things. Cool. Yeah.
It's the wrong me because you're the gotchi, and the higher you go up in the rarity, they bounce. So
Yeah.
we showed you footage of the godlike rival, and it's ridiculous because they're sending them across the map. You could be standing over on one side fighting, and it'll be sending it down to the bottom of the map to take out the enemies. It's pretty cool.
So that's like a little like raffle trebuchet, right? That's like throwing them.
Yeah, you put that down as your tower defense, and once the attack starts, they will start throwing. There's some other characters that he releases and reveals in the
Yeah.
devlog video, the dev vlog. So when that comes out, you'll see it.
Yeah, that'll be out early next week. I think it's almost ready. Yeah, the towers are really fun. The Raffle Tower, and then just all of them are fun. They're visually just cute and really a great use of the Aavegotchi IP. This is what we're aiming to do here, is just use all the stuff that we've created and just make it into a fun tower defense survival game.
Nobody's gonna see their family this Christmas. Everyone's gonna be playing Gotchi Guardians or Dungeon Crawler or in the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the next few months seem like they're gonna be really exciting with all these like game like full on game releases. When do you think the Gotchi gang will get their hands on either Gotchi Guardians or the beta, like the initial arena experience?
Yeah, we'll have something live at SmartCon that people will be able to play. It should be a nice little experience.
Nice.
See a question from Shalinkius. How many physical sets in total? 2. raffle winner and GBM. There's no raffle for these. The best guess was that's just like going to receive a signed copy of a picture from Intarsia Mike. In total, there are 10 NFTs. Doesn't mean that there's necessarily going to be 10 sets, but every time we do an auction, there will be a new set for that auction. But Intarsia Mike does kind of have what he feels is a little bit kind of not a floor, but what he kind of, based on his time and put into this, what he feels is appropriate to want to continue doing this. Came out to about I would say 900 ghost is where he feels it would be, a good use of his time to keep working on this. So he's gonna, either way, the auction, he's not gonna cancel any auction, but we're gonna have to get it higher than 550 if we want Intarsia Mike to keep doing these things. But hey, if he doesn't make any more, that means there'll only be 3 that ever existed. One for me, one for Zbot, and one for whoever wins this piece.
Let's pump those numbers up. I'd like to see some more Intarsia Mike stuff, for sure. Like I've already have like ideas. Like he could do like a ghost token. I think that would be kind of cool with the new logo, the new ghost token or the Gotchi chain logo.
Yeah,
that would be kind of cool to do. Or like the A's, the Aavegotchi A's that you do. Like that would be kind of a cool one to have on a coaster too. This guy here.
This reminds me of, I think it was Leonardo da Gotchi when he was doing the metal cuts of Gotchis. Mycalium had a couple of them.
Yeah, he uses like some crazy like etching process. There's a whole thread that he covers his process, and it's yeah, I think there's still something going on in the works in the background on that. I think we just have to stay tuned.
Who was the friend that created those? Remember, it would be like a clear case with your Gotchi inside of it, and it's like, I guess, a RFID of some sort that you can like actually go to a blockchain and see the Gotchi. Somebody in the community did this like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that was oh, what was his name? Big something. Big Rob, I think. I have one. I have a custom Hefe. Like he made me one. I have it on it's on my desk. Actually, let me post a picture of it. It's one of my few physicals. Yeah, shout out to Big Rob wherever he's at. I know he made some really cool pieces for Gotchi Gang members.
All right, we did get a new bid in, friends. So we're at 620 with 22 minutes to go.
Nice.
Musashi, if you have an idea, feel free to just contact me first with it, and I'll pitch it to Intarsia Mike next time I will be leaving the U.S., but I can pitch it to him next time.
So in the
you guys had to move some funds. Makes sense.
For the devlog, you see that you mentioned season 2 of the Running Pops tournament.
I think it did.
Oh, so it's confirmed.
I haven't played that yet. Is it like a infinite runner?
It's an infinite runner. I was going to actually suggest while we are in the DAO call, I'll challenge all the listeners who are here listening very intently to go and play the game. I will put up a 20 ghost prize to whoever posts the highest score. for your personal score playing the game, just so that we could practice a little, but still mindfully listen to the DAO call.
Oh, we got some more Ghost on the way.
How long does like one game take? Is it just it's like you just run for as long as you can, yeah?
Yeah, you run for as long as you can. They do allow you to buy shields, but you don't at this point. Just practice getting through the course, because the course is just repeating the same kind of patterns, just in different, randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this reminds me of like Temple Runner when I used to play that.
Ooh, Al's dropping some alpha. Look out for a Thrive Coin contribution for season 2. I think we want to try and incentivize high scores to take that DAO prize of 1 BTC.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we need that 1 BTC and staked on Aave. Preferably actually
Ooh,
staked
an
in
ideal.
a BTC Gotchi. Oh, look at that.
That's cool, man.
Everybody's showing off their Gotchi
The
shrines
monitor
here.
with the Gotchis in front. Love it.
I know Thrax has a really nice one also. Yeah, everyone has their little collection of physical Aavegotchi items. I got my little
Let
Gotchi
me
shrine.
open our doc here with all the hangout stuff to go over. We had the dev update go out. We got the Alchemica spending competition that's going to end tomorrow. And I know it's been, let me open the board here, see how that's going. Sounds like it's been a pretty intense competition. Oh yeah, in terms of supply, FOMO is almost back to where it was in terms of supply back in May. So the burn is strong. Keck is actually just where it was back in before last competition. So the burn has been quite intense this time. Definitely a more significant burn than we saw back in May. So very interesting to watch that. And then happy to see that Orium Network's proposal did reach quorum. Have a look at that. I love that the community is actually voting on things for teams that are going to extend the protocol. That's so cool.
Yeah, like building out Aavegotchi DAO is now it's happening
So
from the
congrats
bottom
to the
up.
big brains. And now we'll get that and turn that into a core prop next week. And all the Voltron hackathon winners, those went out last week. And yeah, that was super cool hackathon. Our team really enjoyed being the judges for that. And we definitely had some very cool games and dApps that emerged from that. I mean, Gotchi ping pong in VR is like, I can't wait to actually play that and see what Crypto-Gotchi does with that game.
Yeah, I need some VR experiences in my life.
And then Gotchi Deals Club, I know that's actually already being utilized quite a bit. I've seen it in the Bazaar channel. You guys are jumping on those high deal value kind of Bazaar listings. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
We need more of that kind of stuff. Analytics into the inner workings of the Bazaar and the auction house and all sorts of analytics. On the new version of V2 that's going to be dropping very soon, we're going to have a whole tools page where tools like that, dashboards, leaderboards can all be featured. And so that's going to be very exciting to be. I think it's kind of hearkening a new era of building for Gotchi Gang to have your tools be very, very visible on the main site.
Yeah, and speaking of Mikey J, he did reach out to me earlier
And
this
a
week.
little bit of alpha here as we're getting close. Just like we had the call with Kagi and Andy, we do have another big YouTuber who's going to be doing a video with Slama. So definitely watch that. keep your eyes on the Gotchi YouTube page. So in this last 15 minutes here, does anyone want to come up and kind of talk about what you're working on? Any updates on anything you'd like anyone in the community to know about? Good time for that.
I see Choina has dropped something from Roxiano here. Get Hernani on stage as well. Roxiano dropped a video wrapping
All
up
right,
the
we got Hernani.
Aavegotchi
Hey, sir.
hackathon.
GM, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to leave my just want to say that I'm very grateful to the Aavegotchi community. I honestly thought we were not going to reach quorum, and yeah, shout out to Dr. Wagme. He asked a lot. The ecosystem from different perspectives. Yeah, that vote helped us get there. So yeah, I just want to say to everybody, I'm very grateful. We take that commitment very seriously, and we're going to work our best. We're going to work our best to deliver the best experience to the Gotcha community, because I know that you guys are very demanding.
Right, and I'm looking forward to having that live on Orium, and there was a little bit of discussion about like, well, will this be featured on the main site as well? And I think it will be once you guys have done a lot of the work of implementing it on Orium. It shouldn't be too difficult for us to just bring that over to Aavegotchi.com as well. Just curious, do you guys use like React, or you build in Vue, or what kind of framework are you using?
So the current website that we have on it was Angular, but we are in the marketplace is now being built on React.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
The current website, it was a developer that she stayed with us for a year, and unfortunately she left. The other developers decided that React was a better choice. It was more difficult to find tools for Angular in Web3.
Yeah. Is it vanilla React, or is it Next.js React?
Next.js.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. And Tailwind CSS or normal CSS? Tailwind?
Tailwind, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So that'll make it really easy for our devs to basically just copy that code over, as long as it's open source, and we'll just put that into Aavegotchi.com as maybe like a new lending tab or something on the site. So I think it'll be fairly easy to do that.
Yeah, the main reason why we excluded the front end from the proposal was because I understand that you guys have your own design guidelines, and I think that for us to come up with a design that made sense for the Aavegotchi.com website, you would potentially have too much back and forth between the teams in order to get their approved. So yeah, it was just be easier for us to build a fully decentralized service, non-custodial, and whoever wants to interact with it, they can just interact with the subgraphs. They can, clone these smart contracts and launch these smart contracts. That seems to be a more reasonable approach.
I'm excited. That's I love the idea of community developers applying for grants from the DAO to build out extensions to this protocol. That's super fun. And we'll definitely be helping if there's any need for us to review contracts. Happy to help with that.
Awesome to hear. And I don't want to I don't want to also sound like I'm taking it for granted. I understand that there is a second vote that is coming up.
Right.
Hopefully nobody's going to change the vote. I'm counting on that, but you never know.
Well, if that happens, honestly, I think we need to, as a protocol, as a community, we need to reevaluate how these votes are working, because you guys got 93% support for this thing. And if without anything changing, obviously, if the vote did not pass as core prop, I think we really should, as a community, discuss how we're doing these voting and how a sig prop can pass with 93% and a core prop cannot pass. That would just, to me, it would be a big red flag.
It's the same amount of quorum, right? It's 9 million.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things that I was thinking while I was staring at the quorum, the quorum bar is, we were very close at one point. I think we were like only missing 800,000, 700,000, and 90% of the votes in favor, right? So even if you had like, I don't know, another 4 million votes against it, the proposal was going to pass. But what I realized was that a lot of these votes, they would rather not vote and prevent the proposal to get quorum rather than vote against it, right? And I think that maybe that's not the ideal way to go about it. Yeah, just a thought that I had that I'm sharing with the community. Maybe if you reach, a point in the proposal where you have enough votes that in favor that even if everyone else poses against it, it's still gonna pass. Maybe we should approve that proposal. Just a thought that I have.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we don't need the core prop, sig prop two-stage system. Or maybe there's some other things we can think about. Maybe XP is actually, if people are voting in sig prop to get XP and then shooting something down in core prop, and it's obvious that keeps happening over and over again, then I think, as a community, we need to remove the XP incentives because it's twisting how the DAO functions. So I hope that we don't have to, the DAO does not need to get to that stage, but it would be, I think the XP is a great system, and it's made Aavegotchi DAO, one of the most active DAOs in the world. But if the people, were abusing that intentionally, then we need to have a conversation about removing XP.
Yeah, and 1,400 votes. That's huge. Half of that, I think it was like in the first 24 hours. It was kind of crazy the amount of engagement that we have on the DAO. Really proud of that.
Crypto-Gotchi has a good point. It might be that new information comes to light between SigProp and CoreProp. That's what I said. If there's no new information between SigProp and CoreProp, and the DAO suddenly goes from 93% support down to a prop failing, I think that would be a big red flag. If there's new information that comes that potentially could affect things in a significant way, as we saw on a previous proposal, then yeah, that's not a red flag. That's just new information. But without any new information, a big flip-flop like that, where you had 93% support and then suddenly now it's failing, but XP is still given, I think that's a red flag that the community needs to be aware of, and potentially we need to take some action on that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm super excited, and also excited for the future because there's so much. This is kind of the foundation for the many different features that we can build on. So for example, the ability for you to potentially send these transactions to rent NFTs with pay them with a credit card, right? So you can do everything potentially in mobile without having to submit transactions, right? Maybe you can just pay like $1 or $2 to rent an NFT and then jump to the app of the game. Something like that I would love to see happening eventually. Off-chain offers is something that the team has talked a lot about. It also has big potential. So yeah, it's exciting because it's something that every NFT project is kind of working on their own thing, and we're building these standards. It's for the entire industry. Anyone can just implement that and build their own features. So yeah, we're very very excited to see what else is going to come out of it.
Yeah, I just also want to say if it's cool that Nick Mudge retweeted us, like the fact that we reached quorum. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, Nick, I have been in contact with Nick because Nick he kind of went to the process of building an Ethereum standard with the Diamond standard. You see, I think 2535. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
2555.
yeah,
Almost there.
2535.
2535. So I actually, yeah, we you changed a lot of messages, and he was very helpful on pointing me to the right resources on how to make things move forward with the Ethereum Foundation.
When do you think is that process currently ongoing, and it's just going to take a while, right, to actually get that
No,
through?
My expectations, and maybe I'm being a little too optimistic, is to get that finalized by the end of the month. Right now, I'm just asking the EAP editors, what is the process to change it from a review to final call? I think we are on that period. And when we change to final call, it's basically we have 2 weeks that anyone can point something out about that proposal, and if nothing comes up, it turns into final, where it's done, and we can't change it anymore. So my expectation is to potentially get that to last call next week, and then a couple more weeks in last call, and then that's done. So yeah, again, maybe I'm being too too optimistic, but hopefully by the end of the month.
Cool. There's so many EIPs these days. I mean, I imagine the process is, as long as it's not changing like a core mechanic of Ethereum, the process is probably a lot more streamlined than it used to be.
Yeah, it's kind of impressive. They automated a lot of the things. Yeah, when you put something out there, they have so many automations that run in the repository that if you put external links, that's obviously a red flag, and they're not even gonna evaluate whatever you send there. If you touch files that you are not supposed to do, or if there's a sort of a HTML that the site builds, and if it doesn't build appropriately, it also flags. There are multiple checks in place, especially to filter out spam. There is a lot of spam on that repository. But one of the things that I heard from the EAP editors is that a lot of people don't really take the time to give context on what they are building. Really write about the rationale. What is the problem that we are solving? Why this is not specific for Orion, right? We can't build a standard that is Orion owned, right? It needs to be a standard that anyone in the Ethereum community can use and wants to use. And we took a lot of time kind of elaborating on that, which they complimented. They said, this is not usual for a EAP to come up like this the first time. There's
That's
a
awesome.
lot of span with very little context.
Great. Well, great job representing Orium and Aavegotchi community.
Thanks. Always my pleasure.
All right, friends, we got about 1 minute left in the Hangout section before we transition over into DAO news and DAO updates.
And 2 minutes and a half in the auction, is that right?
There's it was extended, so we're at 7 minutes right now. We are in hammer time right now with current bid is 690.42 Ghost.
Dang.
Which just to represent Intarsia Mike here, that is under his kind of reserve price, but he's not going to cancel the auction. He's going to make the piece, but at that price, I'm not sure if I can get him to do more of these. So we might be 6 months until the next one comes out. Maybe when the bull is back a little bit more.
What is the theoretical reserve price?
He was asking about 900 Ghost is what, because he basically calculates his time by how many pieces are in one of these. So we got the box and the coasters. There's about, I think it came out to like 90 pieces, and he basically just calculates that out plus all a little bit of R&D. So it came out to about 900 Ghost is what he was, he'd like to see, but obviously it's an auction, so it is what it is.
Yeah, but I did a lot of auctions in the past, in real life and virtual, and what counts is the last minute. Everything else is just play.
That's true.
What
That's
count
true.
is yeah hammer time. Now
We do
it's
have
yeah when the bids comes in.
we do have 5 minutes left, so let's see. Let's see if we get to the next hammer time.
Yeah, keep an
Love
eye on that
Gotchi.
one.
Yeah, he did consider individual coasters, but yeah, maybe for a future thing. All right, friends, let's
All right.
head out and head into the DAO call here.
DAO call time. Yeah, what we have on schedule today. Um, friends have been contributing to the missions. So we'll start with our snapshot proposal kind of review that we always do. There isn't a whole lot of, I believe there's one proposal, and that's about it. And then we can move on into the mission vision discussion, which I think will take a decent amount of time. Mike update requesting for feedback for his forum post, so we can have a look at that. And off with Aavegotchi. We have a couple live events we want to prepare for this. So yeah, let's get right into it, friends. And I will head over to the snapshot right now. So from last week, we have the from Flame Viper brand awareness ad. That one did not pass. Abstain. 55% of people voted abstain, and also did not meet quorum for that. So this was proposing two different plans to use GoGo Duppy to kind of establish some brand awareness around Aavegotchi on 4chan and mobile users. So yeah, this is something if you want us to follow up on, just plug a forum thread that we can follow up on with this one. We only have one live proposal this week. Ernani's proposal, which we've talked about extensively, and it looks like you've met quorum, 11 million votes, and 93% voted in favor of, with 13 hours left. So that's exciting. We touched on it during the community hangout there, and I think it's a great upgrade for Aavegotchi protocol. So then the next step here would be the core proposal once this passes. So is there, I guess, Ernani, you're on stage here. Do you have anything else to add regards to this proposal?
No, yeah, just reinforcing what I said earlier. I'm very grateful to the Gotch community. I also don't want to take it for granted. I understand we have a second vote, and yeah, we're gonna be here, friends. We're gonna be here building to the Aavegotchi community. There is a lot to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so go vote on that, friends. If you have not, you have 13 hours left. So that wraps up proposal review for this week, and nice and short. So Phantasma, shout out to Phantasma for putting together a great document here with the Aavegotchi DAO mission and vision statement, and kicked off this discussion again that kind of gone stagnant for a little while, and I'm glad that we did. And so kind of putting together new information from the thread in combination with some stuff that we've already discussed. He has a whole document put together that we'll work through here. I'm gonna quickly check the comments here before we move on.
There was a little bit of discussion, not maybe for this hangout, but for next week, about doing like a roundup of all the various initiatives that the DAO has funded in like the last 6 months, and having some of their key points of contact coming on and talking about some progress.
Yeah. No, I think that's good to get a progress update, and definitely reach out to those teams to get them get a little update from them for sure. All right, so mission versus vision statement. There's a sort of like a major difference, and a reason why. There's a good reason why we're doing mission statement first. The main difference being that the mission statement is explaining the purpose of what we're doing, and the vision statement is what we want to accomplish in the future. So that's, if we're talking about phases of what we're going to do, once we establish our mission statement, we'll be able to um, craft the vision statements based on that. I see Phantasma up here as well, and feel free to chime in or even run through this with me through this document.
Hey, GM friends.
Yeah, let me share this with you guys actually.
GM.
GM, sir.
So yeah, well, I had spoken about this one before, but as you know, I've been like really stressing that, at least for me personally, I don't want people to look back one day and say, oh, or this 1 week period or 2 week period, Phantasma and his buddies put this through, and this doesn't speak to me, right?
Yeah.
So, so for me, like over the last week or two, I didn't want to hammer more stuff in that thread. I was hoping more people to join, even if to criticize or whatever. But it's still nice that this last one that Lagan kindly shared um, is one that I think it speaks to the consensus we built over a whole thread. You shared that document where I did my best to synthesize a thread. It's a challenge. I know Coder Dan requested it, and he's a fan of them. But for me, I felt kind of like, who am I to choose whose comment I'm leaving out as important? And so, so I did do my best with the document to give people something to get the creme, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
of the discussion and how we got to it, and get into a nice little couple of sections. I think the document also helps in the sense that we've lost a little bit of continuity and sense of location from moving from discourse to DAO threads. um, so the document can be helpful in that way, because the way Discord works, one day we could, oops, we deleted that thread. Who knows where it is? Well, the document is out there, right?
Yeah.
um, so yeah, in the document, if you look at it at first, there in the discussion there was this feeling of, wow, how are we going to get this to anywhere? And people were just kind of randomly throwing out their perspectives. I think if you really look at the comments, we had a nice period of going from different cohorts, different people, whether builders or investors, kind of saying their truth, saying their side of things, um, their concerns or their hopes, and very quickly everybody just started having some kind of basically people were saying the same thing just from their own point of view, and then Mikey J, shout out to Mikey J, he was a great contributor because he
Mm-hmm.
has probably more experience than any of us in all of this. So he kind of kept giving us feedback um, as to how to keep it short, how to keep it effective. So of course there were a lot of um, suggestions for the mission statement that it's more like a paragraph or like a full page of a magazine or a book, and that's not really the spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we did look at um, I mean, it's a topic all of its own. Like, should we have a mission statement following the template of corporate mission statements? But assuming that we do, right? We were looking at stuff like Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't say protocol. I mean, Nintendo doesn't say console in their mission statement, even though they've always been about console. So, a lot of people felt it was super important to make it all about the protocol to really let the protocol shine in our mission statement. So, so in this one that I suggested in the end, I used the word multiverse of our own
Mm-hmm.
creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, that conveys what the protocol is all about. Because by using the word multiverse, whether you're building your own game, especially when we have the SDK, whether you're building your own side project, you feel your connection to it, and you kind of, even if some people at first didn't understand what we meant by protocol, right? They were like, "Why are you talking about protocol? All we'll ever have is the Gotchiverse." And now as new games are coming in, indie games, shout out to Lagging Strategochi, looking forward to that one. Um, People have their own vision, their own take. So by kind of including the word multiverse and keeping the different pillars of our DAO, such as owners, builders, um, uh, you know, I guess if we don't get more feedback over the next few days or weeks, this might be the one we go with. But definitely want to ask everybody to give us your feedback. Be brutal, be honest, because this thing is worthwhile. And going back to when I started my little monologue here, I was saying that over the last couple of weeks, I've hoped that more people participate. So for me, the decision was to put together this document and deliver on my promise. A kind of side discussion in all this was at the beginning. People pointed out how I was saying that I was going to do this effort unpaid, and and generally that leads to nothing or no follow through. So I did, as a side project of this, I wanted to give an example of how somebody can still do something unpaid, set their own limits, their own personal limits, and also delineate where the DAO can take it over with people getting fair compensation for what they do, right? Um, but going back to, I don't want like so much of my name and my own vision and just my perspective to be all over this. And that's what people remember one day, like, oh, Fantasma and Mikey J, they did our mission statement. Like, the mission statement should be something that you don't have a memory of a name tied to it. It just speaks so much to what it is. So there's also kind of like a coincidence in my personal life that I'm gonna be um, busy busy with a few things IRL. So I think that's what I wanted to do, kind of not just leave it hanging. So I did make the document and the graphic and everything, but I think the right thing for this to be really kosher is for me to completely step off now, and for a team to emerge as the vision statement. And the vision is something that it could be much longer than this mission statement. It could have hyperlinks. So, for instance, you have the sustainability word in the vision statement with a hyperlink. Just clicking on that hyperlink can then take you to a budget and projections, and that's how and that's in the end of the ultimate reasoning for all this, for the DAO to have first a mission that leads to a vision, and then that vision can lead for us to know what we spend, whether it's energy or time or ghost or stables or whatever it may be, how much of it, why, and we're not constantly like a wild west of a DAO, just judging everything in its own individual merit, but up against something, which is our vision. And I think that's enough of a monologue for me for now. And thank you, everybody.
Just replying to Lagan's question here.
I wanted to say it's great, man. I'm looking at the image to empower friends to own, build, self-govern, and play in a multiverse of their own creation. I think it's a good summary. I think it covers everything. I'd be interested to hear people's opinion. I have to look at the comments too, but I appreciate the level and effort that you put into this, because doing this on your own time through your own passion is amazing, because it is tough to do, but if you know yourself and you know your own limits, then you can execute at this level without straining yourself and burning out.
Thank you, man. And yeah, like the very philosophical and like kind of like the spark of this, it kept seeming to me that you can't just outsource this or pay for it. We're not gonna get um anything worthwhile. So I think this might be a good template for things in the future where members that are really passionate about something can at least contribute enough to set something in the course that they want, understanding that either they or somebody else is going to follow it through on a paid basis, and that might be a good model. As I've shared before, I'm conflicted out of taking jobs. I'm retired. I'm one of those FIRE people, so I take that very seriously. So that's why I never sign up for paid stuff for the DAO. But when I do stuff, it's uh, just out of love for you, for the DAO, and for you guys.
Man, appreciate that. Putting together this document, quite extensive, and like you said, some sort of an archive that we can go back to, that's compiled everything that's happened, like with this conversation specifically. And I'll keep this at a high level because document is quite detailed, and there's a little bit of a deeper theory and discussion that happens here. But like just at a high level, like you were saying, Phantasma, many different kind of backgrounds, giving uh, their their opinions, their truths about how they feel about the protocol, from builders, investors, um, content creators, and just DAO participants. So I'll just start at putting it all together and kind of some of the conclusions that people drew. Some of the things here, I know Mikey J, like you're saying, had shared some of these mission statements from companies like Nike, Microsoft, and how they describe what they're doing at a higher level, not specifically what they're doing, but why they're doing it. And so Mikey J here says, I like the direction. This resonates with me. Personally speaking, uh, what do we think about the verbiage that refers to ownership rather than investing? So it's going back and forth. And actually, I'm not going to read that. This, you can get lost in the sauce with this conversation here. But basically, what we came to was to empower friends to own, build, self-govern, and play in a multiverse of their own creation. And so that does encompass a lot of the factors that we discussed. And kind of curious to know if you guys, like, there's a couple things here that stood out. One was the thing that Lagan just mentioned, Gotchi. Would Gotchi be something you would want to include in this mission statement? And another question I have is to empower friends, right? We say we're a friendly community. Is that something that we want in our mission statement? I feel like this is a really good mission statement, but there's also that few things that we need to work out to kind of fine tune it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I was saying before, I think that the most kosher thing is for definitely anybody interested in I think it could be parallel to what the directors do, and it could be paid in a similar fashion, because it I don't think it should be like a full-time job. It shouldn't be, really, right?
No.
But having a vision team that kind of steps into proposals and conversations, and reminds everybody whether that fits with the budget, and they kind of like liaison between the DAO and somebody like the treasurer, Maxi Crudon, or the devs. That would be amazing, and it could be compensated to a similar degree, right? Um, so yeah, it would be awesome for a team like that to emerge. And you were mentioning Mikey J. It would be awesome if I think he's kind of like a perfect candidate. It would be awesome if he's interested in
Yeah.
in leading or participating in a vision team. You as well. Pretty much anybody who's participating in the thread, uh, I think would be good material to to volunteer for that, and get decently paid.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you think of like these contributors as like pillars of our ecosystem? Because I know you had a really interesting kind of like positions uh, section at the start of this document of like different sectors. It was all theory. It seemed like sectors and who might come to mind. Maybe there's some names on here that come to mind for
Yeah,
somebody.
there's Gotchi, because all I did was say, we should try to get as many corners of the DAO represented.
Yeah.
and he was the one that in like 30 seconds came out with that list. He's super smart. So shout out to him for that, and definitely if you're looking at the document and you see an empty field that feels represent you, definitely join the conversation, especially if you have something to add that you feel hasn't been said yet, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I always try and think in terms of actionable next steps, like what's next. And given that this is quite an extensive um, conversation here, I think maybe the next step is probably to gather just any further feedback in regards to what we have so far.
Right. Submit a prop for mission statement, right?
Mhm.
And get XP, whatever. But when it gets to vision, that's how we can, I think, separate it into, that's gonna take a lot more effort, and those people should be paid. So then basically you could do a prop for a team that comes in, and based on the kind of north that the mission statement gives, they are to formulate a vision statement and a framework, how to execute it, how to keep it self-renewing or self-sustaining, and so forth.
Hmm. Yeah. So in essence, the proposal would be proposing that the DAO has a dedicated team, a group of people to craft vision statements based on the direction of this mission statement. So we'd be saying, okay, based on this mission statement, we're going to get these 4 or 5, whatever amount of people together, have a budget, and then have the task of crafting the vision statements and then further frameworks based off what we have for mission.
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't want to finish off with submitting this as a prop, and my prop. I'm gonna move on to IRL stuff.
Yeah.
But like the people that participate in the thread so far, right? Like maybe you hardcore can iron it out to kind of get consensus on those last few words, and then
Yeah.
submit it as a prop. We share the XP, and just that would be a huge win for the DAO. Enormous, enormous. Once we can actually say, hey, this is our mission statement. What you're proposing or talking about here goes against it or goes exactly for it. And then whenever a team emerges and they're ready, we can move on to the vision statement. It could be months apart, but I think a huge win would be to have a mission statement to start.
Mm. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think those are good next steps to take. So we'll continue the conversation on in the forum thread. If you're in here right now and you have something to add to this mission statement, or you completely disagree with it and you have something completely different that we should be looking at, we would love to have your opinions in that thread. We're welcoming all feedback right now. And so once it seems like this is something that we've reached pretty much consensus on, at least in the general idea of the statement, I think the proposal to have a team to construct the vision behind this uh, would make the most sense for sure. Yeah. Does anybody else have anything to add in regards to the mission or vision, the direction we're going? Um, anything that you'd want to add? I see some people typing here.
Yeah, they're talking about Intarsia might canceling the auction.
That's a
Um,
based move.
yeah, yeah, for sure. You have to know what your stuff is worth,
Yep.
and if the market is ready for it. I made that call with the saddle chair, that I made with both tide. We made that call that you know the market is not yet ready for them, so we've only used them for special occasions like that auction we did for Conde. But even then the bid was super low, so it's like, nah, man, like you have to know when to pull your art from the market if it's not being
Yeah.
fairly fairly
I have a
pulled.
saddle chair. Thank you so much for that, sir. By the way, the NFT.
Well,
It's a very nice
ironically, I
one.
think
Oh,
canceling the
interesting.
auction makes people want it even more. Now it's like, I really want that.
We'll come back in.
Dang.
I told him, 6 months. We'll see how the market is then. There's liquidity is very thin right now across the industry.
Well, you
The
guys
final
saw.
bid was
Sorry, go ahead.
690.42.
690.42. Well, you guys do have the NFT. I was gonna say, so you can kind of have like hosted displays in the Gotchiverse, but that's all you can get for now, really.
Right.
No physical.
He might. I told him he could, if he wanted, he could put it up for 1,000 ghosts in the bazaar, and if see if anyone bites, they bite, and he'll make it for that. Lost Local. Hey, sir.
GM, I think your
Yeah,
timing is on point, sir.
excellent. Yeah. Cool. How's everyone doing?
We're doing well, sir. Doing really well. Yeah. No, I.
Big morning.
Yeah, GM.
Big morning. We've got Intarja Mike. We've got big discussions on the mission statement. So lots of big stuff happening today.
Are you on the move currently, or are you back home? Home base.
I'm home. I'm in my hometown.
Nice.
Sadly, the cell phone service, it seems like day to day it's different up here in the mountains, and today it's been really bad. So I'm pulled over on the side of the road here at the moment while I've got a signal. But I am home for now. I took off last week from the meeting after a really great week with the team at Rare Evo. So just kind of catching up on all that good stuff now. But definitely wanted to discuss live events a little bit with the DAO. We had a really awesome time at Rare Evo. I can't thank the DAO enough for the support in the form of Light Piglet and Choina. They killed it. Really represented the project in an awesome way. And also really cool to see our brand come to life in the form of a formal convention booth, which was really exciting. First time for us to do anything like that. So yeah, now we're kind of starting to look forward to the next 2 quarters, Q4 and Q1, to IRL events, and also trying to work on somewhat of a structure so that we can continue to empower the DAO to be at these events, and also to spread the Gotchi gospel while making sure everyone is taken care of and their needs are met on the road. So I know I've been talking with Light Piglet and Choina and No Future a little bit behind the scenes. Also, while we were on site, Light Piglet, Choina, and I were able to kind of work through some of like the issues and just the structure of how these kinds of activations could work. So it was really awesome to get some insight from the DAO side directly, them having hands-on experience with all that good stuff. So maybe Light Piglet wants to hop on stage and we can chat a little bit about we can maybe start to lay out some potential paths forward. I know that in Q4 we have Miami Art Week and Art Basel, which I'm also talking to Zbot right now about some really exciting IRL art activations possibly for some of our fake Gotchi artists. So that's looking like probably the most immediate IRL opportunity for the project. We're about 2 months out from that, so we've got a little bit of time to position. But looking forward into Q1, we've got ETH Denver, which is the Game Developers Conference. This time around, we're going to have product for both of these conventions. Gotchi Guardians will be live at that point in the game, and who knows what else will be live. So we really want to start considering what those presents are going to look like. We definitely want to have a formal booth ETH Denver this week, make sure that folks can come and meet Big Family Gotchi in person. So yeah, I just really want to get this ball rolling, because I think over the past 10 or so months, as we've began our IRL presence, we have definitely kind of honed in on a sweet spot, and I think it's definitely time to bring the DAO into this process full swing and really start to turn the heat up on our marketing and our IRL presence as we start to roll out video games for the rest of the world to play, which is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. See, got Light Piglet up here as well. Welcome, welcome on, sir.
GM.
So,
So
yeah,
that
go ahead. Yeah,
Re- Rare Evo, the BFG was an absolute hit, and I would say we got probably the most interest out of any booth. I think this is something we need to take seriously, as Pixelcraft has put in a lot of effort to create this booth. You know, from the floor to the background to the BFG, Lost Local has done a lot of good work, and I think as we put more stuff out, it's time to market ourselves. A lot of what Flame has been trying to do, I think people have shot it down because it's not the right time. We don't have a game, we don't have something to play. But that's all about to change. So I think we need to seize the day, and we need to be out and about at these events marketing ourselves and have people there that are holders, not just, talking to Coder Dan or just Lost Local. Having people there, faces that hold gotchis, is a huge part of the experience when you're at these things.
yeah, absolutely. And with you and Choina being there at the event, did you guys feel like between having someone at the booth, I guess having a few people at the booth, and maybe having a team maybe there for getting content up? I know there's actually a decent amount of content that was posted through the Aavegotchi account and through I think Lost Local, you posted some stuff. So there was presence felt, like I felt the presence of Rare Evo. What do you guys feel is like the minimum, I don't know how to put this, like the minimum staffing kind of requirements that you'd want to see at these events? Like having some DAO members at a booth totally makes sense. But like, from your conversations at Rare Evo, post Rare Evo, what are some of the thoughts you have around how the DAO should be approaching these events? Of course, some of these events are bigger than others, right? So we can keep that in mind. But in a general sense.
Yeah, I think that it is very much a case by case
Mm-hmm.
situation, and I think that's kind of part of hopefully how we can structure this. Like going into Miami Art Week at the moment, I'm working on a series of proposals with the goons that would line up between 6 to 8 events over the course of like 7 days, partially sponsored by a few of our partner projects. For this situation, I would evaluate like exactly what we've got going on an activation basis day to day. And then ideally I could come to the DAO and put forward what a staffing requirement looks like from our end. I think it would be really awesome if then we could have some type of budget on the DAO side that is used to actually fund those payments. So the idea being that Pixelcraft would still be responsible for the actual activation costs. However, I would be very active in working out what our staffing needs are, along with whatever this IRL committee is that's
Mm-hmm.
developed. And then we use the DAO funds specifically to pay the DAO members for their participation as essentially employees for the activation. I think creating some type of rollover budget so that then any funds that aren't used for that staff can then stay.
I lost him, but he was going to say that the budget would be 15K quarterly and rolls over. So anything we don't use, say the winter season is pretty slow leading up to ETH Denver, we would roll over a 15K, whatever we didn't spend, say we have 5 left, and then put that into the Ethereum Denver spend.
That's a great way of thinking about it because it adds that flexibility, and I think that's kind of where I was kind of stuck. Like, do you go to like would each event be a proposal to the DAO? Because then we run into like time constraint issues, and then other issues with that, or do we just have a fixed budget for the whole year? And it can be sometimes challenging to like anticipate if you're going to spend more on one event or the other event. So the rollover totally makes sense that wherever you save on the smaller events could put towards that big ETH Denver presence that we have every year. So I like that idea, to have a quarterly budget of 15K, to fund manning I think the two biggest demands for these events are definitely the media presence and getting the social media engagement, as well as the booth presence. And like it's awesome to have like DAO members there speaking from like the community perspective of like building the game, because of course Pixelcraft is building some awesome experiences and they're a dev studio, but we're a community of people, man. We're a DAO. Like this is, I thought that was the coolest thing at ETH Denver, was people coming up to us being like, holy shit, your DAO funded you guys to come here and do this. Like that's so cool. And so yeah, I think it's a great use case for DAO. And yeah, there's been some here, let me read some of these comments here. Chona Singh agreed. That has definitely been discussed, Hefe. A rolling quarterly budget removes major blocker and time constraint issue, which have been the two biggest issues going through this process. So really, we've had an extensive discussion around this back and forth with Lost Local, No Future. I think the people involved at these events have a good idea of the expectations. And of course, it's not closed. It's not closed off to a specific group of people. We did have volunteers that came through last time around that just came to volunteer their time and were compensated also. And so, it's not a closed group or a specific group of people. I think anyone in the DAO that has relevant experience they can offer should be given the opportunity to be a part of this. So really,
Yeah, and I do think.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say at that budget, also kind of based on past experience, I think that there'll be plenty of rollover there. And the idea here is we also want this committee to begin to come to us and say, okay, in Q3, you guys are planning on attending consensus. We'd love to send someone to Rizzlefest. So we'd like to put some of the DAO funds towards that. And then you guys can propose those types of opportunities to Pixelcraft, and then we can step up and maybe put some of those events that were not on our radar, and then offer the support to the DAO at those, activations as well.
Yeah, and I see Coder Dan also adding a nugget here, and having Lost Local delegate the budget out to, just to ensure it's only used for rallying the DAO to event the specific events that Pixelcraft is already putting their efforts into, so we can leverage that and maximize that. It fixes the issue of someone having to really lead the committee per se. What are your thoughts on that, Lost Local?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy to work with. As far as doling out the budget, I just want to be able to offer kind of my experience and hopefully, make sure that we're spending the money as wisely as possible. But working with this committee on exactly what our needs are is definitely the plan. So, being from Pixelcraft, I just want to make it clear that I want to be managing this budget in the good of the DAO and making sure we're just stretching it as much as we can and supporting from the Pixelcraft side.
Mm-hmm. Choina, many visitors to the Aavegotchi booth were impressed. We have representation from DAO members. For some, it was the first time they've heard of a DAO in action at all. Yeah, I hear that, man. It was really interesting to get other people's experiences from DAOs, like Noun's DAO and other DAOs that were at ETH Denver, DAO Planet, and seeing kind of what level of activation they had going on. And it was impressive to see what we're doing. So we should keep that going. We should keep representing at events. And maybe this is a first step towards crafting a proposal. I think that's a reasonable request. Of course, if you think it's not, then let us know in the forum post. But yeah, 15K a quarter, and being able to roll that over and work with Pixelcraft on leveraging all the work that you guys already put into the booth and these events. See some people typing here. Yeah, Coder Dan, I totally agree. Especially at this time, like you're saying, with games being ready to go, we're gonna have more actionable, like more displayable things, and even last year we got quite a bit of attention not having those things, having a trailer and just our presence. So yeah, we could really maximize that this year for sure.
Yeah, that'll be a huge new thing is the, play booth where you could play Gotchi Guardians and test the new arena. And they're doing that at SmartCon first, but that'll be, I guess, fine-tuned for ETH Denver, and we can do it real big there. We saw some of the huge gaming setups, which were pretty awesome. So we could do something like that in the future. Lost Locals got a great idea for how to set up the screens and all that. So I'd be really excited to see something like that come to life and for us to be a part of it and support it.
Oh, and he is a man of ideas. Let me tell you, at Eat Denver, like there was little things that didn't really cost a whole lot of money, but like we were able to maximize, those experiences with just really good ideas. So, for sure. Anything else to add on events? Like, if anybody has some sort of contradicting opinion on events, like why we shouldn't go to events, I'd love to hear it. And you know, if we should just stay as an online community, I'd love to hear that too. But yeah, share your opinions. And
You're my agoraphobic sat. Raise your hand.
yeah, exactly.
I will say, as longtime Gotchi gang, I guess I'm one of the oldest people in this Discord, or one of close to it. It was really awesome to actually be able to meet some of the summoners in person, and being able to send even, one random DAO member that just joined to a conference in Barcelona and have them to, meet the guys. It's a pretty awesome experience. Wasn't starstruck or anything. They were great people, and I think it's just like a cool community experience for everybody to have, not just myself. We should send whoever we can.
Hey, and like Piglet, that's an important point to touch on too. Like we are talking about America-centric events, but there's no limitation on that. If if the committee thinks like it's a good idea, someone's in Barcelona and they're like, "Yo, I want to go. Just get me into the event." Like the committee can help with getting that person there, and having some representation on the other side of the world too.
Yeah, I definitely think there's huge opportunities, especially in like Southeast Asia with the BFG. I mean, all the
Mm.
little Asian people taking
Oh yeah.
pictures and all that kind of stuff. That'll be all over WeChat and all that kind of stuff. So that would be huge, in
100%.
general. So I think, being international is something we have to keep, our presence of mind. I know a bunch of us here are American or North American or whatever. But yeah, international presence will be huge, and we need to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, friends, if you have any more feedback to yeah, Lagan, do they have NFT conferences out there? Let us know. We'll make it happen. Uh if you have ETH Dubai, let's go. If we have if you have any other opinions on this, any more feedback to share, leave it in the Aavegotchi live events thread. I believe No Future created that. Put your feedback in there. Let us know. Oh, and Token 2049. Yeah, that's right. That's another good one. So we got quite a bit here. One more thing here I'd like to touch on here near the end of the DAO call. Mikey J has put together Gotchi Deals Club, which is his it's an early prototype right now, but it's a tool designed to basically provide real-time deal scoring and research tools on the bazaar. So this is really cool for our bazaar traders. Um, when things were really going with the bull market, I know there's a lot of trading volume that was happening on the bazaar. So these tools will be useful. And initially born out of the Voltron hackathon, it has a couple key features here, but has also some future roadmap ideas that he's throwing out there and would like to get some feedback on it. So some of the roadmap ideas were like other ERC 721 assets that could be a little bit more complex to evaluate, Discord alerts for hot deal notifications. So something you could subscribe to there. some machine learning to kind of improve the accuracy, improved UI UX, and also having some appraisal tools to suggest price ranges for particular assets to guide sellers, like a Gotchi Pawn Stars kind of deal when listing items or value in their collection. So some of the things he would like to know: what features would you like to see on this platform? Is this even beneficial to the Aavegotchi ecosystem? How do you see it being beneficial? And should continued development of this be DAO funded? And he has a budget there between 10 and 50K, depending on scope. So please leave your feedback in there. There's already some decent feedback, but please add any feedback you have to Gotchi Deals Club, especially if you're someone who uses the bazaar quite a bit. Reading some comments here, talking about BFG. Dr. Wagme, yearly expenses times 25. Oh, are you talking? That's in reference to the fire movement. Okay, yeah. When petting man. Hey man, I hope our friends at Burning Man are doing fine, doing well. I don't know if you guys heard what happened at Burning Man, but yeah, there's people stuck there right now, and our friend Mike Callum is at Burning Man. I think he's managing a camp of like 30 people. So, and I haven't heard of him. I haven't heard from him. So, like, I've tried contacting him. He hasn't got back to me yet. So hopefully he's doing all right, and that we can hear from him soon. But yeah, I haven't heard from Mike Callum. I tried contacting him a couple times, but I hope he's okay. Yeah, Soju, that'd be quite a quest right there. Send in the BFG. Yeah, totally. Or yeah, I guess there's yeah. Ah, you need Starlink. You need that Starlink. So we're kind of winding down here, friends. I don't have anything else here for today. So if anybody else has any DAO related matters you'd like to bring up, I can leave, open the floor up to you guys, or ending 10 minutes early is never a bad idea either.
I'll bring something up very quickly.
Sure.
You mentioned, I think it was last week, that the ATF has an allocation of 100,000. I don't know if it was dollars a ghost.
100K ghost, correct.
100K ghost. Is there a way to activate that and then allocate part of it to Thrive Coin for their rewards for the running pop stuff?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I think the ATF is a fairly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's an inactive group right now. But I am on the multi-sig along with a few other people. So the funds could be managed if the people managing the multi-sig are in agreement, and the ATF, whoever's managing it, is in agreement. But I am on the multi-sig. A few other people well known are on the multi-sig. I think that's something that could be coordinated if the DAO agreed to it. Like, we'd have to put a proposal forward probably to reallocate some of those funds. But if the DAO votes for that, I think it's possible. Correct me if I'm wrong. Disagree with me. I'm just
No.
theorizing.
I think that sounds fine. Yeah.
I'm
so
theorizing.
Then someone from Thrive Coin write a proposal.
Yeah, but I think that's not a bad idea to reallocate some of those funds. If we have better use cases, right? If we have a better use case for those funds. Speaking of Thrivecoin, I guess we have one more season of Thrivecoin, correct? Under the current proposal? New season just started?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
See you later, Coder Dan. Safe
All right.
travels.
See ya in Europe, friends. Peace.
Later, friend. Safe flight. Yeah, no, this was we covered quite a bit here today, friends. I don't have anything else here for today, so if we're all wrapped up here for today, we can end off a little bit early.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. Everybody else, how you feeling?
Consensus. Yeah.
That's only 2 of 5 though. We need at least 2 more on the multi-sig.
Yeah.
Wait, Coder dancing by the way.
Oh. All right.
Message coming in hot.
Oh yeah, Lisbon or Spain friends, reach out to Coder Dan. Yeah, ain't that the truth, Lost Local? All right, friends. I feel like this is a wrap. I'm going to call it. I feel like this is good. We had a productive discussion today. Check out the threads in the DAO forums. Aavegotchi live events. The other one, Mikey J's Gotchi Deals Club, as well as the mission and vision statement thread. So those 3 threads, keep an eye on them. Provide your feedback. Would appreciate anything. I think I've seen a lot of faces in here that have been here for a long time, and would love to hear your feedback on all those things. So with that being said, I hope y'all have a good weekend. We'll see y'all next week. And yeah, take care, friends. Peace.